after the disaster. Darcy, of course, has lived in the Philippines for a long time. And Darcy, we'll ask you to show us where this place is and what their needs are. And today I would ask you to be generous in the fine session, because what we will collect, we will send to Darcy's recommended club. Darcy, over to you. Sorry.
Thanks very much, President Frank. Fellow Rotarians and guests. Yes, I've been asked to give you a bit of an outline of where the problems really are and why it has had such a big impact. What we're hearing all of the time is the damage in Tacloban, not Tacloban as the media keep calling it. It's actually called Tacloban. Tacloban is the capital of Leyte province, which is right here in the middle of the Philippines. And it's surrounded on the east by a big island called Samar Island. Could I have the next one, please, Rob? And here we go. There's Leyte, there's Tacloban right there, and this is Samar. Manila is up here, and Cebu, which is the second largest city in the Philippines, is quite close by, but it hasn't been hit with the same sort of severity as Tacloban. And Samar, although at this stage the rescue teams haven't got into Samar, so they're not quite sure at this stage the extent of the damage there. For the last 12 years or so, I've mainly worked in Davao, which is the third largest city in the Philippines, and in this part of Mindanao. But in 2001, I worked in Samar, which is generally considered to be the poorest area in the Philippines. We just have the next one, please, Rob. You can see here, here's Leyte, that's where Tacloban is, and this is Samar. Eastern Samar is the poorest and most consistently hit region of the Philippines. They've had 9 typhoons in that area this year already. So if you say, why weren't they ready? It's really because they get them all the time. And I guess there's probably some realisation that, it's going to happen. And I don't think anyone really realised the extent of this one. What's happened at this point in time, because Tacloban, which is the capital, as I said, of Leyte, it's about the 9th largest city in the Philippines. It's the city where Imelda Marcos was born and raised. It's the city where General Douglas MacArthur returned to the Philippines on October the 20th, 1944. That is fairly sheltered by Samar. So all the damage we're seeing on the TV here in Tacloban must have also occurred across here in eastern Samar, because the typhoon came in this direction. At this stage, I noticed in the news report last night that there were pictures from helicopters of this area here, and they're saying they're not sure of the extent of the damage because the rescue teams haven't been able to get in there. Certainly it's much more sparsely populated, but it's not very sheltered at all. And initial reports are at least 300 dead and 2,000 at least missing completely. The next one, please, Ron. People say, well, why has it made such an impact? Right along that coastline of eastern Samar and all around Tacloban, the population mainly fish. It's a very poor area, and 40% of the families survive on $1 per family per day. And it's subsistence existence, many of them fishing villages. There's a fishing village that's probably got the best part of 1,000 people living in it, all on stilts in the middle of the sea. And when you see in a minute the next slides, the sorts of buildings that are on those stilts, like this, you can see that they're not going to survive very much in any sort of wind, let alone the ferocity of the typhoon that's just gone through. There's some of the areas in Samar on the coastline. Next one, please, Rob. And here's inland a bit. This is probably a fairly substantial, well-off area, but again, you can see the nature of the buildings is such that it wouldn't stand very much wind or pressure at all. And then I think last one, to give you an idea of the poverty in this area, there are many families living in shelters of that nature. So, you know, one, they get lots of typhoons. Two, it's a very poor area. There are thousands of people living on the coastline or on houses built on stilts in the water, and so obviously the damage is extensive. President Frank and the board and the World Services Committee under Peter Kirk are looking at sending the shelter boxes, and we'll try and contact the Rotary Club of Northern Summer. We guest spoke at their meeting back in 2001, and we'll determine whether that's the best place to send the resources. So thanks very much, and I hope that's given you a bit better insight as to where the damage is and why it's extensive as it actually is. Thanks very much.